Hello, everybody. I'm Allie Brooks. I'm an astrologer and a therapist, and I'm so excited to do this class with you all. Astrology is one of my favorite things to talk about. I could talk about astrology for hours, and I'm going to in this class. My hope for this class is that you will walk away with a solid understanding of the basics of astrology so that you can start or continue a lifelong journey of discovering the amazing beauty that astrology is. And there are so many layers to unfold. And it's something that we get to actually practice and work with in our own lives. Something that we get to learn about through lived experience. And there's so many different benefits to astrology. Having a better understanding of our essential qualities, the archetypes that we're working in this lifetime, different challenges that we have on our way to fulfilling our highest potential. It also helps to show us the world transits, what we are working with collectively, what are the energies in the collective, archetypal energies that are present, so that we can be aware of the potential shadow sides of dynamics that are happening internally and externally and make more conscious decisions. I came to astrology definitely as a skeptic. I grew up in an atheist, agnostic household and family, and just didn't understand why or how, what constellation my son was in at the time that I was born would have anything to do with anything. And I was trained to be a logical, rational, critical thinker. But at the same time, I always felt a deep longing or a deep alienation with the disenchanted world, with the idea or the paradigm, the cosmovision that the world is just dead objects and that everything comes down to the material world. I found that very disenchanting. So when I was 21, I remember I was spending the night at a friend's house and I woke up, I'd slept on the couch and I woke up and there was an astrology book on the coffee table. And at the time I was really struggling with my identity, my sense of what am I good at? What is my value? To what can I bring to this world? I was in college. I was really overwhelmed with kind of the suffering in the world and the crises that our civilization is facing. And then also feeling confused about what I should focus on and who I am. I thought I was an Aquarius when I was growing up because my birthday is February 21st and it's right on the cusp. So that was when I first read about the sign of Pisces. I didn't know at the time that I actually have 4 planets in Pisces. I have the Sun, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus in Pisces. And when you have 4 planets in one sign, 4 or more planets, there's a really strong focus. That's called a stellium when you have 4 or more planets in a sign. And it means there's a strong emphasis on that archetype, and it might be more extreme. Whereas if I had more of the balance in my personality, if I didn't have so many planets in one sign, it might not stand out to me as much. But when you have so many planets in one sign, it becomes kind of exaggerated. So when I first read about Pisces, I was like, whoa, this brought light to some of the ways that I am that I had struggled with. My sensitivity, my compassion, creativity, my draw to mysticism, and some of the struggles that go along with Pisces energy. And I was like, wow, that really spoke to something for me. And then I started to read more about the signs and think about the people in my life. And when I started studying astrology, the archetypes, it felt like I was remembering the lyrics to a song I used to know. There was something about it that just clicked into place for me. It felt like I already was familiar with the archetypes on some level. And I was able to kind of just absorb it very easily. And I just became really obsessive with astrology. I was so excited about it. And I would do full charts for all of my friends and family. I was living at a co-op at the time, and I discovered, that astrology is more than just your sun sign, that it's all of the planets and all of these different points at the moment of your birth that make up the complex, dynamic birth chart, which is kind of like a energetic blueprint for your highest potential. And it also contains so much information about what our essential inclinations are, our instincts, the way we think, the way we communicate, the way we relate to other people, the struggles that we have in our lives, the challenges, all of it is so incredibly illuminating and helpful. And so I became completely obsessed with astrology. And it was like I couldn't stop reading about it, looking up charts, talking to people. My friends would it became a joke because every time I met somebody, I immediately had to know their sun sign, their rising sign, their moon sign. I was doing charts of strangers and just obsessively doing charts, running charts. I think I single-handedly kept that website, alabe.com, that I sent out to you all. I feel like I kept them going with how many times I was visiting their website for years and years and years. And I took it more and more seriously. And when I became a therapist, I really felt like astrology was one of the best tools that I have to support my clients in understanding from an archetypal, energetic perspective what their struggles were, and pointed to different ways that my clients could understand themselves and understand where they may need to balance their energies, and areas that they could really focus on to contribute at their highest level to our collective, to our world that so desperately needs us all to be living in our fullest potential, contributing our beautiful gifts to the world in this moment. So it's become a deep passion of mine. And now I find myself in a graduate program in depth psychology, where I'm in a 5-year PhD program, really diving deep into archetypal psychology, depth psychology, the shadow, from a perspective of liberation psychology, community psychology, and taking a decolonial perspective on the field of psychology. And so all of this has led me to this class and to this desire to share this exciting and illuminating framework for the people in my life and for anyone who wants to be on this journey with me, and to create community around it, and to be able to share the basics so that you can use it in your own life. So, and yes, I did wear moon and star earrings and sparkly nail polish for you guys. So the overview of this class is that I'm going to be talking in the beginning a little bit more about ethics in astrology and the uses of astrology, the history of astrology and astrologies, and how this is specifically Western astrology that we're going to be working with and talking about, but that there are many different astrologies around the world and in many different cultures. And so I'm going to be explaining an overview of what Western astrology is, where it came from, some theories about, how astrology works. I'm going to be talking about the elements and the qualities. Then we will move into an overview of the signs, and I'll be explaining everything. With everything I'm talking about, there's going to be a lot of repeating themes. So when I talk about the elements, I'm going to be going over each sign and what element it's associated with, and talking about the different qualities. I'll first walk you through all of the signs, the 12 signs of the zodiac, and then we'll talk about the planets. And you'll see that the planets all rule a sign. So all signs have planetary rulers. And so we are going to be seeing that similar archetypes will be repeated throughout the course. And so by the end, you'll have heard everything multiple times. And it can be really overwhelming at first. There's so many different moving parts, literally. And so just take it at your own pace. Know that you can always pause and ask questions, ask for clarification if you don't understand something. And you can ask me any questions in the group, and I will either write an answer or create a video. So the more questions you have, the better, the more that we will all learn, because we'll get to witness the other questions that are arising for people. So please don't hold back your questions. So there are 12 houses in astrology, which are associated with the signs. I'll be talking about aspects. So when we talk about aspects, we're talking about the relationships between the planets and the angles that they are interacting with each other and what that means. We'll talk about the north and the south nodes. We'll talk about the eclipses and transits, both personal and world transits. So there's a lot of ground to cover, and I'm going to be recording and posting the information in shorter videos, so about 8 to 15-minute videos, because I think that is enough information at once for us to absorb. And so you can work through these at your own pace. All right, so as you finish this video, I would love it if you could go to the group and just name one thing that you are excited to learn about. And then I will be uploading the next video soon. Yay!